How's it going, YouTube? It's Weston's Toys and Collectibles, and today we're going to go look at the second part of this review of Hook and Long Haul. We looked at Hook in the last video, so I'm going to go ahead and pull him out of the picture, and we're going to go ahead and take a look at Long Haul. And Long Haul, he's a dump truck, as he has always been. But this one comes with a few accessories, and he's definitely a big improvement from what we saw with the Combiner Wars version of Long Haul. Considering that he is not, he doesn't have all the Combiner bits in him. He is his own separate robot, and we have the little trailer here that will contain the Combiner's leg, thighs, and waist. So we have a separate part for that this time around, instead of having everything incorporated into the Long Haul robot. So he's allowed to just be himself, and he can stand alone if he wants. So that's pretty cool. I like that they've done that. Now, we took a brief look at the trailer in the last one, where I kind of showed how to put all the stuff onto the trailer. And I've also went over all of the other accessories here. This is all just combined mode stuff. So I kind of went over that, but I want to go over the gun here because this can actually store on the trailer as well. You can split it here, and there's a little tab right here, and that tab corresponds with this little slot here, and it even has like a little channel for the for this little tab that's on the peg itself. So that can actually plug in right there if you wanted to store the gun onto this. The other thing I found is you want to take this and plug it on here, and what this allows is for this to store on the inside of the trailer. You do want to bring this down because it gets in the way, but that allows you to store the rest of the gun in that trailer like that. And of course, I showed off how the wings attach to the sides with that tab in that other video. And then the fists here, these handles come out, these little 5mm ports. And we went over these as well, but these just plug in like that. So this has this part here, which is his trailer hitch, and he has the these little 5mm ports in here. And what's going to happen is you just want to split this a little bit, just so you can get that hitch in between those parts there, and then squeeze it back together. And these wings don't stay on very well, but yeah, so there he is with his trailer, and he can pull along all the extra bits of Devastator that are needed for combination. He rolls really nicely. All these wheels are pinned, just like on Scrapper and Hook, so these guys all roll really nicely on pinned wheels. And he can turn a little bit. It is hindered a little bit due to that weapon storage. If you take that off, you can get, it's not as much as you would want, but he can get a decent little turn here. It's a very wide turn, but yeah. So that's basically how the trailer works in this mode. We're gonna go ahead and open this up, pull the gun out, and put this all back together. And then we'll go ahead and get this trailer out of the way now, and we'll look at that later. But right now I want to take a look at, Long Haul in his vehicle mode. But how can we look at Long Haul in his vehicle mode if we don't also have G1 Long Haul in his vehicle mode? Yep, there they are together. Oh man. Yeah, you can just see how much inspiration from the original figure goes into this vehicle mode. It is quite stout, and this is more skinny and long, and it has like a longer engine here, whereas his is more compact due to screen accuracy. But Wow. Nice, a nice comparison here. You can see like he has a smokestack here. You know, the bed of the truck with some of this mechanical detail here, which is represented here, and with these dots, the sticker detailing. Some detailing here on stickers that's also represented here on his what'll be his foot in robot mode. So there's a lot of details here that you can see are represented from the original G1 long haul figure to the new long haul from Studio Series 86. So it's pretty cool. I really like that they've done that with these two. Now I've already done the group comparison for all the vehicle modes in the Hook video, so I'm just going to do a group comparison in robot mode in this one because I didn't do a group comparison in the Hook video for the robot modes because I wanted to wait till I did this guy's review for that robot mode comparison. But I did do him with the others in their vehicle mode if you check out the Hook review. So we'll go ahead and get down to transformation on this guy because this guy's transformation is really nice. It's very straightforward. It's very simple, and I love it. I love that they didn't go too complex with him. And he's very chunky and heavy, and it all carries over into his robot mode as well. So to start off with, we want to go ahead and separate the bed. There's some little tabs from under here, which will form his feet, and the tabs are on this piece here that go into those. So we'll kind of pull this a little bit to separate it, and then as I said, here's the little slots that the tabs go into, and then there's the two tabs, and there's also two tabs here on the back that go into these slots here on what'll be his lower back. Anyway, we'll bring these legs out and they will snap into place. There's a tab here that'll click in right there. And this is just a transformation joint. His actual knee is down here, and we'll cover this more so in his articulation. But right now we'll just snap those into place, and then you want to flip out these pieces to be his heels, because he does have some balance issues if you don't have those flipped out. Then next we want to go ahead and take these arms, and they also tab in to this waist section here. You just want to untab them from there and then flip them out. And same thing on this side, untab it and flip it out. And this is a big improvement of the Combiner Wars because he has a lot more articulation in his arms due to this transformation. There's a small tab here that'll clip into this channel. You bring that around and clip that in. It clips in very securely. And then we'll flip out his fist, and then his elbow's on a ball joint. So we'll just straighten out his arm and bring that down like so. Do the same on the other side. Just bring this around, clip it in, and then flip out his fist and bring his arms down. And then what I like to do here is I'll take this part and I'll just bring this down, and then we'll go ahead and take these two tabs here. See, these two tabs were tabbed in to slots. These tabs here and here were tabbed into slots on the back of the cabin and over here as well. But now these two slots here will receive these two tabs here. And we'll bring that down like so. And this guy's getting kind of big, so I think I might have missed some of the arm stuff on the cameras. But we'll go ahead and go up a little bit here. We'll just look at that again. There's this tab here that goes into this slot, and then pull his fist out, straighten the arm. Anyway, now that we're up here, we're going to take the whole upper body assembly. Well, first we're going to open up this, and there's a lot of cool painted and molded details in here for an engine. I really like that too, that they didn't just leave it a flat piece of plastic. They actually put the details in. We're going to go ahead and push from the bottom here to get his head out, and then we'll go ahead and at this joint you want to get his head out first because otherwise you might break something. But anyway, bring this down, and then it's snaps into place very heavily. So very nicely, very nice secure connection there. Then we'll bring this back up and close it up over his chest, and then we can bring this and flip that down just like that. It doesn't lock in, it just kind of sits there like that. It's alright. And oh man, there's Long Haul in his robot mode now, and he looks pretty good. He definitely looks like a chunky bruiser. Here's his gun. He looks like he's gonna, you know, kick some Autobot butt with his Constructicon buddies. Yeah, he looks like he is ready to fight somebody. For robot mode comparisons, here we have Megatron from Siege. Here we have Legacy Bombshell. And here we have Studio Series 86 Optimus Prime. So you can see once again, he's kind of a between Deluxe and Voyager size. And so I think he's just the right size for these guys. He's not too overly large like the Combiner Wars one was. And he definitely doesn't have the weird legs the Combiner Wars version had, which is really a nice touch. And then for more comparisons, here we go. We'll go ahead and get his buddies in here. Here is Bone Crusher. You see he's much taller than Bone Crusher. And here is Hook. And him and Hook are about the same height. I think he's just a hair taller than Hook. And then here is Scrapper. And Scrapper's shorter, just like Bone Crusher. So, yeah. So, Long Haul and Hook are definitely the taller of the two, of the four, I mean, so far. We're going to bring this up a little bit. And then Bone Crusher, he comes up to about middle of Long Haul's mouth guard. He comes up to about eye level, just above eye level for Long Haul. And then Scrapper's the same height as Bone Crusher, so yeah, there's everybody all together so far. Can't wait for Mixmaster and Scavenger to come out, because those guys are gonna be, you know, the icing on the cake for this set. They both look really good. Mixmaster's definitely looks like a much better figure than the Combiner Wars. He looks magnificent in comparison. Yeah, so there he is with the other Constructicons so far. And I like that they have they have a very uniform green color. And then the other details that they have with, like, he's got his accent color of his black arms. These two have accents of purple and silver, and then they all have the red accents in some way. Except Hook just really has his eyes are red, but no real other red on him at all. But yeah, so these are the other guys so far, and then one more comparison, another very important comparison. Here he is with G1 Long Haul, and yeah, you can see definitely where they were coming from with this. I do like how the Studio Series does have the black arms, so it's more cartoon accurate, whereas the toy has the purple arms, which is what they tried with the Combiner Wars version, giving him the purple arms. Unfortunately, they didn't give him any articulation with those arms, really. So, yeah, it's sad that the Combiner Wars one's almost exactly as articulated as the G1 figure. And then the Studio Series 86, I'll show you his articulation, but he is very well articulated for this guy. For the big, bulky bruiser that he is. So yeah, there is G1 Long Haul. So yeah, looking at his articulate, well, let's look at a few details. His head painted silver with the red visor. It is on this platform, so it's kind of you know, it's kind of meh. I do like that the Combiner Wars one had an actual like head. This guy's got a plate with a head on the, or with a face on it. So, you know, that could have been, they could have done an actual like head, and it would have been just fine. But I do understand why they did it this way. It does rotate. It's on a ball joint, so it does rotate. It gets about that far before it gets hung up, but you can get past the little bit of plastic right here. Arms are on universal, so they can swivel all the way around, and then they can hinge out that far. Ball jointed elbows means that he has 90 degrees, a little more than 90 degrees of bend at the elbow, and then he also has a 360 degree swivel on that. The fist just goes in and out for transformation. Nothing at the waist again. None of these guys have had any waist articulation. Not too big of a deal breaker, but it would have been nice if they could have included that. I feel like they could have engineered it in on this guy as well. Between him and Scrapper, I feel like they could have engineered waist rotation on both of them. And then like you can fake it on Bone Crusher, but it's not great. He can kick forward that far, and he can kick back that far, giving him a full Monty. And then he can kick out to the sides all the way for a full Van Damme split. His proper knee is right here. This joint here is his knee proper, and it gets under 90 degrees. If you do disconnect this joint up here, you get a little bit of like a weird thin joint here, but yeah, it gets you the full run if you wanted to. But anything past here, and you're just breaking up the sculpt more. So, but I do like that this is a proper knee, and then you can also have the option. This does lock into place like Bone Crusher's knee did. I don't understand the need for it to lock into place. But this one, I'm not sure how I would be able to. I guess if I shave this tab off, it would prevent it, but I don't think it needs to be done on this guy. Considering that's his, when it's unlocked. That's how his knees are when it's unlocked, which isn't too bad. I dislike the unsightly gap there, but it's alright. But, that's how his knees were or when they're unlocked. Whereas Bone Crusher's knees, I did shave these tabs off, but his knees were like this when you unlock them. So it's like already mostly bent by the time you get unlocked. So yeah, this isn't too bad. And then he has an ankle rocker, but no forward or backward. And it's a deep ankle rocker, so you get everything you'll ever need. So yeah, that is his articulation. He's pretty well articulated for a long haul figure. Long haul is not one who'd be super lithe or agile, so it's not surprising when he doesn't have a whole lot of articulation. But this guy is pretty well articulated for a long haul figure, and I like the fact that you can get his leg forward as far as you would ever need. And I don't really, backwards movement doesn't matter to me too much, but with this guy it does kind of matter due to transformations and stuff, so I see why it's necessary, and it's always welcome. So yeah, that is articulation. This is pretty well articulated figure. He's got lots of molded detail everywhere, which is really nice as well. So moving into his transformation to his combined mode, we'll go ahead and first take away his gun. And then we have these tabs that are going to come into play, and these slots here that are going to come into play. So what we're going to do is we're going to push his fists in, and we're going to undo this joint here, and then we'll want to rotate this bicep so that this slot here is facing back, and that's going to tab in on this tab here, and then this tab here is going to tab into this slot. So we're going to bring this up, tab that into the back of this shoulder, and this tab here will go into the slot right there. And so that's how his arms will tab in, and they lock in pretty securely. Same thing on this side. You just want to rotate so this slot here is facing out, and tab it into that tab there, and then tab that tab into that slot there. So yeah. Next, what we're going to do is we can go bring his legs together now and bring this panel up, because we're going to undo this section here, and it's like we're going back into vehicle mode, but we're gonna definitely lock this plate back here into his waist, and then open up this and put his head away. And then we're going to once again, we want to bring these down first, but we're going to bend this joint here, the transformation joint, not the knee joint, and we're going to bring his legs down at the hips right here, and just fold it till these I think it just sits. Yeah, it just sits there like so. And then we'll bring his heels back out, and they will tab, this section of the heel here will tab into the slot here. And it tabs in really securely. It's a nice, nice firm joint. So, and there he is in his combine mode. Yeah, so he's really just the midsection of the combine mode, of the combiner. So yeah, that's how he will look in his combine mode. And then we can go ahead and bring in the this section here, and we'll go ahead and take the fists off. I already showed how you incorporate the left fist with Bone Crusher. We'll go ahead and take this off here, and we'll plug these onto this chest piece. I'll set that to the side now, and then we're left with this chunk, and what we want to do is bring this panel here out, and it folds the whole section out here, and there is lots of molded detail everywhere. This, you know, it has the trailer doors here, it has these, you can tell it's like a slatted sheet of steel, and then just the siding is also well detailed. But anyway, open this up, and there's a lot of detail on the inside as well, which is really nice. Anyway, we're going to fold over at this hinge, and these two tabs here will tab into the slots here on the side. And let me go ahead and get this back into focus. And so those will tab in, and then these two tabs here will slot in right here. And tab all that in, and then just bring this up like so. And then we want to bring these two chunks here out, and those will tab together, and that forms the connection that will go into long haul. And then finally, just want to take these waist skirt pieces and pull them away, and bring down these chunky ratchets in the hips, and then bring these waist skirts back down, and there it is. That is the waist assembly for Devastator. And it looks really nice. Yeah. Anyway, we'll take these this big old chunky tab now, and it will go right into this open slot here. We'll push that in, and it will stop naturally. And then there's these two slots here. They're square slots. They'll plug into the back of Long Haul's legs. And this solidifies really nicely. It's not loose or anything. You shake it very heavily, and nothing slides out of place. Everything stays nice and oriented where it needs to be. And so there is Long Haul in his combined mode. And that's very nice. It has a very nice waist swivel. And then these hips, like I said, nice chunky ratchets that way. Very firm friction right there. Very firm joint. Rotation here. And then pretty decent ratchet here. I wish it wasn't so like, it sounds like a squirrel. It's not too bad on this side, it's just the other side sounds weird. But very chunky ratchets, which is what we want with our combiners. And then we'll do a quick size comparison with this chunk here. Here is, there it is. They'll be about, here on Menasor. So, if I bring this up, I think it lines up about there. And so he's going to be a bit taller than Menasor when everything's all said and done. I think the waist kind of lines up, but the torso is definitely bigger on Devastator. So he's definitely going to be a bigger combiner than what we're getting with Menasor and Superion, who are the same height. And just because here's a Combiner Wars Defensor, so it's also about the same size as Menasor. So yeah, it'll probably line up about there. So I'm alright with that. I like Devastator being a bit bigger than the other combiners. I think Combiner Wars Devastator was definitely way too much bigger than the others, but I am okay with Devastator being the biggest of the main combiners. Obviously, he's not going to be anywhere near as big as Power of the Prime's Predaking, but that's alright. I think Predaking being huge is awesome. I'm alright with that. So, this has been my review of Long Haul. And you can check out the other parts of my Devastator reviews. I'm probably going to make a separate playlist for those. And then you can check those out as well in that playlist. But yeah, this has been my review of Studio Series 86 Long Haul. Thanks for watching, and until next time, till all are one.